to show success. All for one, and one for all. Unity means solidarity. Yeah. United we stand.
Oh yeah, welcome back.
Divided we fall.
Welcome back, ladies and my very special limey bastard on the line here, Alin Karna. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Hello, Vinny.
How you
We're
doing
going to continue our earlier talk that we had. What's his name?
Brzezinski.
Where? Brzezinski.
Do you know about... I don't know.
Oh, my God, I can't say that. Huh?
You know about Monica Lewinsky?
Yeah.
And you know about...
They weren't married, were they, later on?
No. And you know about Burt Reynolds, right?
Yeah.
Well, he kind of looks like Burt Reynolds, and his name rhymes with Lewinsky. His name's Brzezinski.
Oh, yeah, okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Gregory Brzezinski, Dr. Gregory Brzezinski, yeah.
That's it. I love that joke about Clinton when he's got a bad stomach and he's in the White House and he says to his aides, oh, I've got a bad stomach and what's the name?
Show.
Yeah. And he says something.
Regulations and
you can sack my cook. Okay, she's there and she pulls him in the room and she says, "What can I do for you, President?" He says, "You can sack my cook," because he had a bad stomach. But never mind. That's another joke. You can sack my cook. Okay. Ha 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 ha. We're on radio. Yeah.
That was otherwise known as his oil spill, which incidentally took several miles of boom and the Navy to clean up.
Oh my God! Listen, let's face it, Vinny. There's too much bloody oil on this planet. We've got to get rid of all this friggin' plastic, oil, and we need free energy. I mean, we know that it exists, but the powers that be, or the whatever you want to call them, the New World Order, Illuminatis, that they don't want us to know about the free energy. They don't want people living for 250 years with high IQ. Let's face it.
Oh yeah. Well,
they don't want that.
I come under the understanding that the plan was thought out by people who were real bright, but it's being orchestrated by real morons who would never figure out what the whole plan is.
Yeah. Well, they want everyone to have cancer. They want everyone to have chemtrails and air crap and death dumps and God knows. I mean, I don't know. I mean, fluoride. And, estrogen in the water. And what about all the antidepressant shit that you get? Forgive me. Antidepressants that you get going into the water stream. Now, that's the latest piece of... that is... Oh, my goodness me. The water that we drink out of the taps is just... Don't do it, guys. Filter it. If you can. Get a filter, get a Berkey or something, whatever it is, get something to filter all that stuff out, because it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that you're right, actually. You do need to filter out all your water, because it is frickin' dangerous. Like, honestly, imagine you're looking at, like, some description of stagnant pond or whatever.
Yeah.
That pond water is possibly as safe to drink as your frickin' local municipal water. But... There's actually a guy somewhere in the United States who has a frickin', you can light his frickin' tap water on fire.
His what?
You can light his tap water on
fire? Yeah. Well, there you go. Look, listen, folks. Listen, you don't need any more information than that. His whole kitchen caught alight when he turned on the coal tap. I mean, my God, you just can't get that. You can't get as bad as that, can you, Vinny? I mean, come on, let's face it.
What happened. He turns
the whole house blew up when he just turned the tap on. It's so toxic. I mean, that wasn't even in Japan.
What he did is he turned it on, he lit it, and then it just basically kept going like a blowtorch.
Oh my God, really? That's what the Nazis had. they had that thing that, I don't know, well, everybody had them, those flamethrower things.
Yeah.
You know the flamethrower they had in the, in Saving Private Ryan, the movie? The flamethrower. Well, my God, that's the way it's going to go. When you put the washing machine on, it just turn into a big flamethrower and just burn all your clothes and burn the whole house down. I mean, my God, you ain't got a chance.
That'd be more like a petrol bomb.
We just don't have a chance anymore. I mean, my God, you got to get off the grid, man. I mean, you need a big windmill, you need a sun, solar panels and all this stuff. You don't want their water, you don't want anything that they give you. Just don't accept it, don't go along with the game. But the water really upsets me because they want a lot of money and it's a lot of profiteering, from what falls out of the sky. And this kind of really upsets people. It doesn't matter whether you're in New Zealand or Argentina or wherever you are in the world, in England, the stuff comes out of the sky and it's totally poisonous what comes out of the tap water, Fluoride and all this stuff, what we were talking. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And they want a fortune for it every month, They got you over barrel and there's no contract either. You don't sign a contract with them.
I suppose, that's what really needs to be done is people need to refuse to contract. And it's like I mentioned in the first hour about how we wind up the assets of the state because we wind up getting born with a birth certificate. That's
right, yeah.
Simple functioning as it happens.
Well, I don't know, Vinny, you know that I've been in touch with you email-wise and all that and trying to hook you up with all these people over here in the UK and Ireland. And there's a lot of this stuff going on over here. We call it lawful rebellion. We're looking into the maritime contract laws and how bent it is, the whole thing. Because it goes way back to the Roman Empire. It goes way back to all these control systems, as I call it, simply. And how they have, they have swindled everyone into believing that their statutory law is real. And it's not. Because, it's a fictitious system, it's all fake, it's all made up. And at the end of the day, that's when you go into a court, you've got to sit in the dock. The dock, okay? But they can't do nothing to you until you actually are in the dock, for example. And this is all maritime law, and we need to look at this stuff. We need to be educated about this, what this means, in America and so forth. All over the world. It's fake, it's a fraud. Don't play the game. The way to win the game is don't play the game. And let's make another game kind of thing.
Yeah. I suppose one thing that really icks me, mate, is when you kind of stick your head up and you really do try to make some music or attempt to publish sort of media on a platform about this. Do you understand what really happens is that you sort of attract two of those wonderful things to you of love and joyful people, but you also attract those other real kind of annoying kind of twats, who basically the kind of people you just sort of ignore.
I know what you mean. Attraction's a big word, I think, but what you're after is balance, but it comes out of intention and attraction, and also the other big word is allowance. And what you allow. And I think that's the key to it. But out of this, the attraction and the intention, which is the same as praying, you get a balance, and that's what you're trying to achieve. But you've got to be careful what you attract. And it's like the old saying, be careful what you wish for, it can happen. But, what you're after is a balance, and this planet is not balanced, is it? Let's face it, folks. It's just, we all know that. We know that it's not balanced. Now, you can say it's not balanced between male and female, and you can, use whatever parameters you like, but we can all agree that it's just not balanced. So how do you get to that balance? That's what I would say, but the law of attraction, the law of intention, the law of allowance, and this all comes into play with it on a,
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I wanted to give a big shout out to our Irish listeners as well. That are listening to us live at TNS radio.
Yeah. Oh, are they? Oh, great. Oh,
yeah.
Hi, Vin. Yeah, great. Vin, you got Vin, you got Vinny. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the same guy. You just put do the Irish accent one day. And
No. Vinny Vici.
No,
Vinny K. Oh, well, I got the saying.
No.
You know
there's only one broadcaster. It's all the same guy. He's just brilliant at doing different accents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the many different accents of Vinny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, the Irish guys are great. So we're going to hook you up with Alan and Steve at OYM, Open Your Mind Radio. I've guested on there myself because Vinny will tell you guys that I'm a songwriter, from the UK. Got a band called Express the UK and all that, and an album coming out called Providence. And plug. Right, you can either plug a bath or you can't, right?
Well, the Vinny Eastwood show, we've got more plugs than Bed, Bath and Beyond.
I told you he was as crazy as a grapefruit.
Well, which begs the question, just precisely how crazy is a grapefruit? And how does one measure it?
I know, that's a wonderful question. I've actually, I have wondered that. Yeah.
I'm going to say something here. I can guarantee you, if you brought a grapefruit to a psychiatrist, it could diagnose it with depression or something.
Well, what do you do? Do you chop it in half? Or I don't know how like when you do grapefruit in the morning, some people put sugar on it. Some people put a cherry in the middle.
I've never seen a grapefruit.
So what's is it crazy to cut it in half, or I don't know.
Well, they are psychiatrists. They are experts on being crazy. After all, they're the ones who originally founded Bedlam and charged people admission to watch all these crazy people that they kept in chains, naked, cold on the floor, and dipped them into ice water, buried in coffins and stuff. So they would know.
What you mean, chaos theory? You're not talking about chaos theory, man.
That's just what
oh my God, yeah.
That's just what happens in the London psychiatric industry,
Listen, I don't believe in all that Darwinian stuff, do you? I mean, I'm not really into all that elitist thing. There's all these superhuman things and everyone else is a slave and we're all, I just don't buy that, I just personally. But if you cut a grapefruit in half and you put a cherry on one half of it, and the other one, you just leave that on the side. And this one, you put cherry and you put a bit of sugar, honey, or, and you present it nicely. Well, there you go. There's food for thought.
Yeah. And, breakfast...
like when you have grapefruit in the morning.
And what's the time there for you? It's like just on midnight, It's time for a bacon.
Yeah, it's gone. It's now 15:15. It's about 14. It says 14 minutes past midnight. Bing, 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 bing. Nearly quarter past midnight. Yeah. And I've got Anthony on the other line here. Anthony J. Hilder, do you want to speak? You guys have got to ring his thing, I suppose. He's waiting to speak to you. You got to ring his number. I'm just going to hang on. Are you still on Skype, old boy?
Yeah, we're still on Skype, so you can.
Yeah, I'm going to give you his number. Wait a minute, 3.
And try not to read it out on air,
Right, I've given you, hang on.
Just.
Area code 310, which is Los Angeles. And then after that, it's a 7-digit number. I've just sent that to you. You got that?
Yeah.
Yeah. 12:15.
Oh, no.
And what is it there? It's 4:15 in Los Angeles. Look at this. We're international here, chaps. Talk about the globalists. I mean, forget the globalists. Come on. Globaloni. Yeah, give him a ring.
All right. Well, we'll see if our fabulous board op responds.
What do you want me to do? Stay on?
He's going for it, man. Yes, please. Give him a call, mate. I'm just talking to the fabulous board op.
Yeah, he's waiting to speak to you. He'd love to speak to you.
And, mate, seriously, He tries so freaking hard for this show. I just wanted to give him a little bit of acknowledgement. Because, my goodness, without him, the show would just be an absolute disgrace. But with me, it is a disgrace. Anyway, moving on. We're talking about your new album coming up. How many songs are you putting in this album? I'm really sick of those those poofy artists who put like 7 songs on an album.
No, I tried that, and I didn't sell any records, so I thought, well, I better do a better job the next time. I did that. You know, I thought, I'm going to put something out and call it The Power of 9. And I put 9 tunes on there because I didn't write enough songs, and I thought, you lazy, so don't try that again because it won't get anywhere. No, this time I've written a lot of songs because I got so fed up with the globaloney New World Order Illuminatis, and just started to write a lot of songs, got very inspired by it, and I got really angry, you know what I mean, Vinny? And I'm not talking about I'm talking about Vinny as in New Zealand Vinny, and not Vin in Ireland, Vinny. I don't know if he's the same guy or not.
Of my Vinny Vin.
No, I'm certain you're not. No, I did. I really got angry. I mean, it was Alex Jones I heard on the radio, and, I watched his film called Terrorstorm. And when I watched that film, it was like a shock, Do you know what I mean? When you wake up to the New World Order and force fight terror and all that, you literally go into a state of shock. You want to get on top of a mountain, you want to yell to everybody and tell everybody, Mayday, Mayday, we are in trouble, we really, you've woken up, and you've got to wait, and that's it, I mean, that's it. So if you're like me, if you're an artist type of guy, it's very difficult because, I mean, I think
You're listening to the Vinny Eastwood Show. We're back.
Yes.
Live on AmericanFreedomRadio.com, keeping it bangster on the Vinny Eastwood Show. It's the lighter side of genocide, because in a world so full of madness and chaos, if you lose your sense of humour, you'll go frickin' nuts. My very special guest, who's just joining us now, Anthony J. Hilder, is joining us from Los Angeles. Anthony, welcome to the program.
I'm glad to be here, Vinny. I've been hearing a lot about the great Eastwood, and we have one fellow off the coast named Clint, and I thought, well, maybe you're the brother or the son. No, you're too young to be the brother. You must be...
Clint Eastman. No, that's Clint Eastman, Anthony.
Oh, Eastman.
No, it's Clint Eastman. No, this is Vinny Eastwood. And the guy lives up Monterey on 17 Mile Drive up on, Carmel and all that.
Carmel, right.
Yeah, his name is Clint Eastman. This is Vinny Eastwood.
We get so confused.
Yeah, I know, but this is the famous Vinny Eastwood, so forget about the other guy.
I may not be related to Clint Eastwood, but I am Lucy Lawless's first cousin.
Well, you are doing something that Eastwood has never done. In fact, I thought at one time he was going to come in and back a friend of mine, Bo Greitz, from, the movie was made, Rambo, about Bo. I thought that he would come back and underwrite, like so many people in the so-called conservative movement promised to do, the return of, or at least the attempt to return some of the MIAs. But let's talk about the New World Order.
Yes.
The Ein Volk, Ein Reich, Ein Führer.
Well, actually, let's talk about Anthony J. Hilder, just for those of the audience who may not be familiar with it.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Alan was talking.
Oh, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Anthony, for the listeners who may not be familiar with you. A little bit of your background.
Well,
and by the way, this is also a plug-o-rama. We've got more plugs than Bed, Bath and Tile and Beyond in this show. So plug your websites by all means.
Well, we have events going on. There's one coming up here on the 16th and 17th of this month outside the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is Bilderberg West. The billionaire banksters and government gangsters arrive there to worship in front of the Owl of Moloch. It is there that they have a simulated sacrifice of children in the thing called the ceremony of cremation of care. There has been reports in books that would indicate that they've actually had human sacrifices and sacrifices of children before the Owl of Moloch. It's been traditional for years. In fact, in one of D.W. Griffin's films, I think it's Intolerance, they discuss the sacrifice. But we're up to protest the sacrifice. That's in the 16th and 17th. That's out in a place called Monte Rio, and it's near Santa Rosa. It's north of San Francisco along the Russian River. So that's an event. Insofar as I'm concerned, I produced the original expose of the Illuminati in 1967 with Myron Fagan. Not really my doing. It's Myron had all of the work and had done all of the research. I was just the mentor, the new kid on the block, and from that revelation in 3 long-playing records came a multitude of discoveries along this particular line of thought, and there's now in excess of 1 billion people on the planet that have heard the word Illuminati, but they don't know from whence it came.
And from whence did it come?
You might say the devil. It is a Luciferian evilarchy. When I say Luciferian, they worship the Lord Lucifer. Just like you take a look at Saul Alinsky, who is the mentor to the President of the United States, and his book, Rules for Revolution, in the beginning he says that the book is dedicated to the Lord Lucifer. When you take a look at the Goat of Baphomet, and the Baphomets, those people who worship this.
Wait, did you say the word Goda?
No, the Goat of Baphomet, the goat the Goat of Mendez, the Goat of Baphomet. It is the satanic symbol that is worshipped by many of the people in Hollywood. Lady Gaga wears the big ring from the Goat of Baphomet. Beyonce and Jay-Z or whatever her husband is. There's several people, and you see them openly. Go to the web. It's not my imagination. They are worshiping it, just like the Masonic religion is worshiping Lucifer. In the book, which is the Masonic Bible, written by the General Albert Pike, he said, yes, Lucifer is God, and those initiates in the higher order of the Masonic religion should worship, be following the Luciferian doctrine. So, insofar as the Illuminati is concerned, the Illuminati does have a religious origin, and it comes from Lucifer.
Well, indeed, there's an awful lot of groups out there that all kind of come from Lucifer, like these are the Temple of Set and the Church of Satan and all these other things, and which a lot of them incidentally have connections with CIA mind control programs. But the other side of it is, where do you think you wind up getting all your presidents and all the pick of the crop from? Ah, there you go. All of these nice, lovely Luciferian organizations. Isn't that grand? We've got Skull and Bones, where you masturbate in a coffin while revealing your deepest sexual dirty secrets to the people around you.
Well, you're born again into you're born again into not only the New World Order, but you're born again into the Satanic Order. And it's literally just that. George Bush's father, the former President George Herbert Walker Bush, was in the Skull and Bones. He, too, like his son, laid nude in the coffin, masturbated, and was born again into the order. His name is called Magog. That's called The Man Who Worshippers or Who Does Battle Against God in the Final Days of Earth. That's not, it's, you can't make this stuff up. It's for real. And a friend of mine who wrote the book on the order about the skull and bones, Dr. Anthony Sutton, has revealed all of the information necessary for an individual to put the pieces together. And one really does have to put the pieces together because they go into a giant geopsychopolitical puzzle. And once made, you can see the big picture. Once you get the big picture, once you listen to the Vinnies of the world, I mean,
countless hours of talk radio and documentaries also gives you a pretty good awareness in some certain circles. A lot of good websites out there. And do you have a website?
I'm going to pull this thing up so it'll stop. Whoever I'm on who's listening to the show, I'm on the air right now, so maybe they can call me back. But I'm doing the show on American Freedom Radio. Wow, and that is a pleasure to be here, Vinny.
Hey, well, don't worry about that. We've pulled off worse complications myself. There's a lot of things that happen in live talk radio that most people just are plain not prepared for. But anyway, considering we're all patriots and truthers and we don't have copious quantities of bureaucracy to mount an offensive or hop to the next issue or something, we can just think on our feet and move right along. What was your website there, Ann?
Well, we've got several. We've got in England, and I'm working through Our England UK, Our England UK. It's ourenglanduk.com, and then we have another one there which is called commoncrime.net. In the United States, we have freeworldalliance.com, and the one that's really hot right now is our piece with aircrap.org. Aircrap.org. If you go to any of those, and it's crap, C-R-A-P. I don't want you to think it's the aircraft. Aircrap.org. So between these sites, we're promoting a free world, which is independent and sovereign. It calls for the recognition of the tribal, linguistic, racial, political, and linguistic states. We'd like to see in England, Cornwall, and Wales, and Scotland become independent, even the Shetland Islands. Because we're looking for smaller, not larger government. We're hunting for more freedom, not less. And we're taking a look at EU as Hitler's dream come true, which it is. We've got 4 films on that. So if you went to Free World Film Works, you could get that. And Alin Karna has done such a marvelous job over there with promoting all of the events on in the UK, and it we'll probably have in the vicinity of 30 by the time the snow starts to fall.
Is that what you're aiming for, Alan?
Yeah, well, the idea, I mean, let me briefly, it's very simple this. I mean, I met Anthony through Dr. Deagle, Dr. Bill Deagle, who I think you've been on with together, right? Did he?
Yeah.
Anthony knows Dr. Bill really well, don't you, Anthony?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I was doing a show once a week, and then I got tied up with all of these other things. And but we are doing shows or events that will be promoted by multiple websites, and of course the one about exposing the connection between the Bilderbergers and the Bohemian Grove is extremely important. That's coming up the 16th and 17th of the month. But like I say,
Dr. Bill's been on your aircraft stuff too, right?
Here, he's going to bring in some music to the event, some smiles, not just frowns and and moans. Alan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to say we can't avoid too much frowning and moaning, because the ultimate thing that really occurs to me is people don't understand is that the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing everyone he didn't exist, and his followers just basically follow him, and it's open and in plain sight, except people don't know what talisman they wear, you know? Like a Lucifer worshipper doesn't wear an upside-down cross around their neck if they're like a main media figure or something like that. They'll wear other things elsewhere, or they'll get tattoos that mean satanic things that people just won't recognize. They'll wear peace symbols, which are an upside-down satanic cross. That kind of thing.
Vinny, you know, let me say this, Vinny. I mean, from my perspective, I mean, I think that I certainly know that Anthony, being over in America there, knows a lot more about this stuff, because in America, you got a lot, you know, over here in the UK, we just don't, I suppose we're just so propagandized and all the rest of it, you know, and so controlled with cameras everywhere and surveillance and you name it. I mean, you know, nobody even thinks about this kind of stuff. I mean, you get the Hollywood films and all the rest of it, yeah, but no one even considers it. And so, you know, in many ways, you know, I guess I don't either. It just doesn't come. But I know there are pedophiles here at the highest places. I mean, I know that through my friend Brian Garish, who Anthony has worked with as well. You know, the films are all out there on the YouTube, you know, on all Anthony's website. And by the way, Anthony's got more websites than anyone in the whole planet. He's got so many websites. He doesn't even know how many he's got. But anyway,
oh, what a tangled web we weave. You'll be familiar with that, Anthony. But go ahead, mate.
Well, the spiders don't. Well, up at the Bohemian Grove, they've got the owl of Moloch. This is the place where they literally have sacrificed children. They sacrifice care. They don't give a damn about the health of the population. They want us sick, not healthy. They want us dead, not alive.
I don't know. I've not seen it with my own eyes. I mean, I have to be a bit empirical about this. I'm sure that kind of thing takes place. And, you know, the highest levels on the top of the pyramid, there may be some people who are into this sort of, you know, ritual sacrifices and blood sacrifice and all this kind of stuff, you know, all the stuff that David Icke talks about and everybody. I mean, you know, but I don't even want to think about that kind of stuff, Vinny. I'm a musician, you know, I like to play the guitar and sing and all that, you know what I mean? I don't even want to think about it. I like to think about it a lot, you know, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this right now, by all means, sacrifice yourself for the Vinny Eastwood show. It'll be awesome. You'll get 20 blocks of Vermont cheddar cheese and a death time supply of Coca-Cola. It'll be just nice and tasty for your gums. You're listening to the Vinny Eastwood show, and my very special guests are Anthony J. Hilder and Alin Karna. And we'll be right back after the break. Listen to the Vinny Eastwood Show on American Freedom Radio. Live worldwide weekdays 5 till 7 Central. It's the Vinny Eastwood Show on American Freedom Radio. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Vinny Eastwood Show on AmericanFreedomRadio.com and also ifinityfm.co.nz down in Invercargill in New Zealand, TNS Radio in Ireland, and also These Changing Times Radio Network coming soon.
in the UK. So we're going global, ladies and gentlemen. The world is an English-speaking conquered world. Thank you, Rule Britannia. So if you're an English-speaking person, you can appeal across the globe. And, of course, my very special guests, Anthony J. Hilder and Alin Karna, also speak English, so it's quite convenient. Welcome, guys.
Hi there. Hello there.
Yes, we're going to be, by the way, going on an international television broadcast. It's on My TV Now. My TV Now. And you'll be able to catch a little bit of The Conspiracy, which is the international show, and we'll be able to do interviews simultaneously with as many as 20 different people with their pictures on the screen in various locations throughout the world. And it's a new technology, and it's going to be like talk radio but expanded. And when I hear your revelation about an expansion of this information throughout the UK, yeah, I'm really, jazzed up about that. Tell me more about it, if you will.
Well, I got involved with a couple of people. In fact, they contacted me. It was Patrick Lynch and Paddy Walkingturkle. They've been doing a couple of shows on this little radio feed, which they've now decided to turn into a full-time 24-hour internet radio network. And first thing I said to them was, "Oh, you guys have just landed yourself with a heap of responsibility, haven't you?" As anybody who's run a radio network will know, it's just, sorry, it's just not funny, eh? And I apologise to anybody who's ever...
Well, why are you laughing then?
Well,
Can I just say...
I'm excited about it, and on our television show and the various sites that we have, we want to plug it. We've got an event calendar, and if you go to... OurEnglandUK.com. We'll see it posted on the event calendar, provided, Vinny, that you contact our webmaster, or you go to our webmaster with aircraft.org or Free World Alliance. Once we start connecting all of these dots and putting all of the pieces of this gigantic geopsychopolitical picture together, the people will start to get it. And that's really our problem. It's not that we're all stupid. It's that most of us don't get the big picture. And as a consequence, you'd have to say that what H.L. Mencken once said, one can never underestimate the intelligence of the American people. Well, and it really isn't just the intelligence, it's the lack of valid information. And we're kept from that by the evilarchy and Hollywood. I made the statement, and I'll repeat it. Hollywood is a whore. I mean, Hollywood is the cancer upon the hemorrhoid of the ass of the whore of America. That's what it is.
Yep, and it's absolutely tasty as that, and that's why they want everybody to pay nothing but attention to it, so that it manifests that kind of crap in your own subconscious psyche, so that they can suck energy out of you. That's what they believe. They're psychotic. They're absolutely out of their freaking mind, cultist-like people who do rituals on stage, performing in front of people, trying to manifest the energy for the dark gods. And you know, I'm not joking here, ladies and gentlemen, all right? There's a pyramid on the back of a US dollar bills for a reason. And there's a big glowing eye that is not attached to that pyramid.
That's the eye of Lucifer.
That's the eye of freaking Lucifer. When I first came up with this on the Joe Pine show, and this had to be maybe 35 years ago, I brought it out on national TV, on Metro Media. And I said, take a look. Go into your pocket, pick out a dollar bill. Now, that pyramid over on the left-hand side, this is the Luciferian pyramid. At the top is the eye of Lucifer.
The bottom it says 1776, but that's not our independence from Great Britain. It is the birth of the order and sect of the Illuminati on May 1st, 1776. When you go to the Louvre Museum and go into research that document, which is held there, there's a 666-pane pyramid on the outside. Yes, and it is associated with the pyramid on the estate of Lord Rothchild in England. I was out there. I went out next to the pyramid. We took pictures. The same architect is the very same guy that did the one outside the Louvre. All of these little bits and pieces, and people say, well, that's not really important. No, it is important. It is important when you fold a $20 bill and you see at the bottom of the fold, we're talking about the expose of the 9/11 event, when the bill is folded and it appears to be the North and South Tower. On the left-hand side, you'll see a ST, which is the abbreviation for Saint, and then there's an IN on the other side, and it's Saint N. And you say, well, that's just a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. The banksters, the billionaire banksters who control our currency and thus control our governments, have this by design. They're spitting in our face. Spitting in our face, and some people don't get it.
Can I put a postulation past you
911, the greatest lie ever sold, and you'll see it.
I just wanted to say that people who kind of wake up to the truth and wind up saying that 9/11's an inside job, or that the pharmaceutical industry is like toxic or whatever, there's a whole myriad of basically each and every one of these different topics is part of that different pyramid of knowledge. It's each a stone in itself. And it's building up, and usually the last thing that people who wake up about the whole system and the New World Order learn about is about the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, and about Satan, and about the deep underground satanic influence of the elite. It's usually the last thing that they wind up finding the truth about.
Well, people don't go and work on the Tesla technology to develop the HAARP technology, which is what triggered the earthquake off of Japan. You say, oh, well, that's crazy. How could you possibly say that they could, with the HAARP technology, trigger the tectonic plates by simply putting the 2.5 hertz
I don't think they used HAARP, Anthony.
Below the water.
They used HAARP for that.
To create the quake, which created the tsunami. They controlled the
tsunami, but they didn't use HAARP.
On the day of that quake, Benjamin Fulford called me from Tokyo, and I was quite aghast. I was like, "What the hell's Ben Fulford calling me for?" And I was quite an amateur at radio at this point, and he came on. And he said that he'd had a conversation with a Japanese official the night before, who told him that the Japanese had been threatened with an earthquake weapon, what was going to be used the next day to cause a big tsunami. And he apparently recorded the conversation. And there's also a lot of YouTube videos about big, really strange light displays in the sky around that area. And indeed, a giant ball of fiery light on the side of Mount Fuji on the same day.
My
really
friends, I could use this information in aircraft.org.
Oh, yeah. Well, you need to go to guerrillamedia.co.nz and search Fukushima. We've got the best articles in the world there, mate.
We need that, because I didn't get that piece, and that's the discovery. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, I was unaware of that. Now, by our conversation, which lets all of you out there in radio land become aware of it, we can expand this story 1,000-fold.
And here's the expansion to the story. Because of the Fukushima incident, which is 3 meltdowns, Chernobyl never even melted down, by the way, this is now the worst incident in human history ever. conceivably, and it's going to cause a lot of contamination, and now we're going to start to see the first trimester people contaminated. But what are we, 3 months on now from the quake? The first trimester babies that are deformed in the northern hemisphere are going to start to be born now.
They're making monsters out of children, and they do this with...
No, but that's not the idea, though. They've now come public with new technology that allows you to detect whether or not your fetuses are deformed. So now this is the perfect excuse to control birth all around the world. Oh, your child might be deformed, or it might have this, or it might have that. We're just going to not allow you to have that child. Okay?
The same thing with the BP thing, Vinny. The BP Gulf disaster, that's another false flag event, just like the Fukushima. And that is something that we all forgot about, right? But that is I heard Ian Crane recently come on the radio explaining, and he's an ex-oil guy, that the whole BP false flag event, the false flag stand down, whatever you want to call it, it was deliberate, it was engineered. That is a total disaster.
And we'll be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you again sometime.